as the war between Russia and Ukraine, it continues. NATO is launching its largest exercise since the Cold War. Now, today, I'm going to walk you through the details of NATO's upcoming military exercise. It's going to be months long, and these are war games which NATO will be hosting. It's going to be called the Steadfast Defender 2024 drills. The games are expected to last until the end of May. The exercise aims to demonstrate NATO's ability to rapidly deploy forces from North America and other parts of the alliance to reinforce the defense of Europe. Now, in the drills, about 90,000 personnel are set to take part. More than 50 ships, from aircraft carriers to destroyers, more than 80 fighter jets, helicopters and drones, and at least 1,100 combat vehicles, including 133 tanks, 533 infantry fighting vehicles are going to take part here. Now, during the second part of the Steadfast Defender exercise, a special focus will be on the deployment of NATO's quick reaction force to Poland on the alliance's eastern flank. Well, other major locations of the drills will be the Baltic states, and those are right here: Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania. Now, this is going to be of key concern here, at least for Russia. Now, apart from the Baltic states, these are seen as some of the are at most risk from a potential Russian attack. Then there is Germany, which is a hub for incoming reinforcements, and countries on the fringes of the alliance such as Norway and Romania as well. Now, these are the places where NATO will be conducting its drills, which are expected to last until the end of May. All right, for more on this, we are being joined by Dr. Malcolm Davis, who is a senior analyst in defence strategy and capability at the Australian Strategic Policy Institute. He's joining us live from Canberra. Welcome to the broadcast, Dr. Davis.
Well, thank you for having me.
Dr. Davis, let's start with this. Now, the second part of the drill, which is going to explore, and rather it would demonstrate how fast they can reach Poland. And we all know Poland neighbors Poland is near Russia. So how do you feel Russia is going to be looking at all of this going into the second year of the Ukraine war?
Look, I would hope that Putin would be looking at this and thinking, perhaps I better not threaten NATO. These exercises are really about sending a message of deterrence to Putin and to Russia, because the concern is that if Russia is able to somehow turn the war in Ukraine around to his advantage and ultimately win, he will be emboldened and able to then use the opportunity to rebuild Russian military capability and threaten NATO directly. And the place that he would most likely threaten would be the Baltic states and Poland in an area known as the Suwalki Gap. So these exercises are designed to deter such a threat in the future.
Dr. Davis, I also wanted to just, pick up from what you just mentioned, that in case Russia was to win over Ukraine, now that is a possibility that Ukraine has not overruled at all, and even other Western nations are sort of waking up to that possibility, because Ukraine needs to continuously keep getting its funding to continue the resistance. If that goes, we all know it's just a matter of days after that. Now, is it something which is just to show to Russia that, okay, even if you get Ukraine, you don't go any further? Are we already sort of tackling that perspective on the horizon with these kind of drills, or is there something else involved here as well?
Well, look, I think it's absolutely crucial that we deter Russia, because after all, if Russia does attack NATO directly, then we are talking a major European war with the rapid potential to escalate into the use of nuclear weapons. So I think that it's really important that the West make sure that Russia cannot threaten NATO directly. But in actual fact, the best way to ensure that that happens is to ensure that Ukraine wins, rather than allowing Russia to somehow snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. The only way Russia wins in Ukraine is if the US gives up its military assistance to Ukraine because of these partisan political infighting in Congress, and then if Europe, without America's lead, follows down the same path. If that happens, then I think that Ukraine's ability to hold off the Russians is very limited indeed.
Dr. Davis, just one more thing I wanted to get your thoughts on this, especially the Baltic states, with them being part of the drills, or at least NATO carrying out the drills in these states as well. We have Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, and of course reaching as close as Poland, which is bordering Belarus, and we all know, of course, Belarus is pretty much part of Russia as far as most of its strategic decisions are concerned. How do you feel these nations are going to get involved going further? And do you feel, when it comes to the Baltic states, what kind of risk are they at with Russian aggression?
Well, they are NATO states. They're full NATO members. So they're covered under NATO's Article 5, which says an attack on one is an attack on all. The concern from the Baltic states will be that the Russians will launch some sort of lightning blitzkrieg into their territory or wage some sort of hybrid warfare attack that tries to destabilize them. And so it's in their interests, and they know that it's to work with NATO to fully prepare for this possibility. If you look at countries like Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia, as well as Poland, all of them are preparing for war with Russia. All of them are very serious about expanding their defense capabilities to hold off the Russians, because they believe that if NATO drops the ball in Ukraine, they will be next. So therefore, they are deadly serious about preparing for war with Russia.
All right, Dr. Davis, we'll let you go for now. Of course, there'll be lots more to discuss going forward. It's going to be a months-long process which NATO is going to be carrying out right at Russia's doorstep, also in certain areas. And thank you so much for joining in and sharing all your insights on this.
Thank you.
Right.